2020. It's still not December. We are still in March. No, we're not in March. We're in February. Guys, I'm doing this on purpose. I hope you really do. It is March 1st. No, it's not. It's February 28th. I'm messing with you because this is all going to be on replays on PCT. So you may well see it tomorrow. It's the last day of February, everybody. It's gorgeous out. Go enjoy it. Muscatine has a lot to do this weekend. We're going to cover a couple quick things to remind you of from folks that have been here in the last week or so. Lindsay Phillips was here talking about Bowl for Kids' Sake coming up next month. Go ahead and get your team registered now. Beauty and the Beast from Opera, presented by the Jackson Concert Series at Wesley United Methodist Church, will be Friday night. No tickets are needed. It's free. Go enjoy it. You can see more on their website for times and all that fun stuff. And then the Master Gardener program has a whole bunch of stuff coming up. And Mary Wildermuth will actually be here on Friday to talk about that. But if you're ready to get outside and start enjoying this, go take a look at the Iowa State Extension website. They've got some notes on it, if I remember correctly. But if not, Mary will be here on Friday to talk with us about it. So we're going to dive right into what I think is going to be a fun show. And he's sitting here chuckling. I have Chris Jasper with us from Emergency Management at the county, which is, like, most people would think of you guys as dispatch, right? You're way more than that, but that's usually the first thing that comes to mind, I think, for most people. That'd be fair?
Yes, dispatch is part of emergency management, but it is a lot more than that.
What else is it?
So I get to do all the planning, exercises for disasters or disaster response for the county. So all of our hazard mitigation plans for the county, disaster response plans from public health down to public works, anytime we have a disaster, I get to do all that fun stuff.
And one of the cool things that we're going to talk about, we got like 3 main things to talk about. We're going to save the coolest for last, which is when we're going to do this. They've got video 911 now. We're going to do a live to a sandbox so we can show you guys what it's like, what you can experience. It's not really like, we're not calling 911. So Rachel and Stephanie, if you're there, you don't have to worry about us bugging you. We may anyway, I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. We're also going to talk about, it's spring, or it's almost spring. We're going to call it spring. And it's siren season. So we're going to talk about what all the sirens mean, quick reminders, where to look for information, all that fun sort of stuff. But I think probably the most important thing we're actually going to talk about first, which is something that I'm a part of that Chris brought me on to, which is the LEPC, right?
Yes.
Which is the Local Emergency
Planning
Committee. Yeah, yes. And I'm there as a media representative. Basically, my job is if something happens, they send it over and we help make sure it gets distributed everywhere. So one thing that we talked about, and I think this is what Chris is here to announce, is as part of the communication plan, there's going to be a new Chris signal that is built on top of the dispatch building or somewhere that's essentially going to be kind of like a bat signal, but it'll have my face on it. And so when
that's scary.
When there's an emergency, they're going to fire that thing up, and so everybody knows I'm on the case. So the county, everybody can stay calm and know that I'm your emergency response system.
When you see Chris's face, run, run the opposite direction.
No, what would it actually mean? No, but seriously, this is actually a cool thing that, like, I didn't even know about exists, but it totally makes sense that it does. There, on the committee, there's folks from police, fire, like Unity Point, MPW.
Yeah, so there's representatives from healthcare, different industries,
Yep.
different employers, media,
Yep.
Law enforcement, hazmat, and basically what that group does is we look at our hazmat response plan. So obviously if we have a huge hazmat incident here, it's going to take all those folks to prepare or respond to the disaster. So we get together once a year to review that plan and discuss it. And we also have reporting requirements that we have to do as far as different factories that store hazardous materials have to report that to me every year. So I get to compile all that data and we look at all that fun stuff as well. So yes,
so
a very important group.
It is, and I was honored to be a part of it. Like, a lot of times, the couple that we've had, I honestly kind of sit there going, wow, you guys know what you're doing. I'm glad you're in charge of this and not me. You guys just tell me what you're doing and we'll make sure everybody knows. That's like...
When I need something published, I know where to go, right?
Yeah,
and I just did that.
You did, yep. And that's... So everybody, Muscatine, you can relax. I really have absolutely nothing to do with our emergency management response. So you can, don't call anybody, don't call your elected representatives. I'm not in charge of anything hazardous material.
Wrong Chris, different Chris.
Right, yeah, wrong Chris. Okay, so there's that. So let's do our homework first before we get to do the fun stuff. So it's spring. We're gonna have sirens. It's gonna happen.
And you know that's one of the most debated topics in the county.
It is, because whenever one goes off, we invariably get emails, messages on Facebook going, what did that one mean? What's going on? You know, and I'm going to say it's similar to what it's always been. There are a couple little changes, but basically what I always tell people is if you hear a siren, when in doubt, get safe.
And you know, that's true. So I'll just backtrack here. Several years ago, the National Weather Service and some, you know, weather folks got together and determined that straight line winds, high winds, large hail can cause more damage than tornadoes. And so they sent out a recommendation nationwide to change your siren policy, basically, to go off for those high winds and hail. And so the majority of the state of Iowa followed that, as well as Muscatine County. The Emergency Management Commission met and decided that that was probably a good deal. And so, again, not only for tornadoes, but they also go off for 70-mile-an-hour winds or greater, golf ball or larger size hail, or a confirmed tornado or tornado warning. So, but like you said, regardless of why they're going off, just as much damage can be done by high winds. So if you hear those sirens, take cover. That's what they're there for.
And Chris, were you able to pull up the understanding severe weather hazards for everybody to see? So again, basically it's outside danger is what it boils down to. And you know, my household, we always have this discussion because I'm the idiot that a siren goes off, I go outside. I'll admit it, I do. Melissa is the smart one. She takes all our valuable stuff, like our son and dogs, down to the basement, and I'm usually the one checking it out in the garage, getting pictures so that we can help let people know what's going on. But unless your job is like news media and you have to like go out and be out in it, or a firefighter, or like an MPW lineman, or unless you're something like that, any of these things, right? Tornado, large hail, strong wind, rain, lightning. If the siren's going off, get inside, get safe. Now, is there a different siren for different stuff?
There's not. It's all just one siren. And just because the siren stops doesn't mean that the danger's over. They go through a cycle, and so, you know, they'll cycle for, I think it's 2 minutes.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that it's okay to come out. You know, any warning or watch issued by the Weather Service has an expiration time, so that's the time that it's safe to come out, or when they cancel it.
Now, is there an all clear siren anymore?
There is not.
Okay.
There's not.
So remember that, everybody. There is no all clear anymore. Okay, so what it really means, I think if we can even translate this even simpler, because like if the siren goes off, I just need like 3 quick checklist thing of what to do, right? So siren goes off, don't worry about what it's for first. Siren goes off, go get somewhere safe, grab your phone, check the National Weather Service, check, chances are Discover Muscatine is going to have it by the time you hear a siren and get safe and get there. Check somewhere, see what the warning is, right?
Yep. And here's a good plug for if you haven't signed up for our Alert Iowa system.
Yes.
You can go to the county website. There's information on that on there for you to sign up, and you will get text messages for any weather events automatically. If I need to send out evacuation notices or anything with the county, I do it through that system. Yep. So if you haven't signed up for that, that's a good...
Which to be completely honest, folks, that's where we get our info that we then relay out to you. So if you want to cut the middleman out and know just as fast as I do, just sign up for that. It's super handy, you know instantly, and can act accordingly.
There's, if you go to the county website on the emergency management page, there's a section on Alert Iowa, and it'll give you the links to go and sign up, and you'll have them just as quick as most of the time they go out just as quick as we get them at the dispatch center.
Yeah.
So you'll have them real-time information.
Yeah.
So,
And that's, I know everybody, myself included, sometimes straight line winds don't seem dangerous. So it's like, oh, why are the sirens going off? I'm going to go check. Well, okay. Straight line winds, Ron White does this joke, about the guy that tries to stand up in the hurricane, right? He's like, I can survive 100-mile-an-hour winds. And Ron says, well, it's not the 100-mile-an-hour winds, it's what the 100-mile-an-hour winds are blowing. You're not going to survive if you've got a stop sign in your spleen, right?
I mean, just look at all the damage that happened in Cedar Rapids a couple years ago with the
Right.
derecho. Like,
Yep.
there was no tornado with that. It was all straight line winds, and look at the damage it caused.
Well, and I do think, I've lived in Muscatine my entire life. We all have this, well, Muscatine never gets hit by a tornado, and for a
true.
long time, it's not true.
Not true.
Not
I
true.
can tell you firsthand, not true.
Right. No, I know, but it's a thing that everybody said. They're like, oh, we always go just a little north because of the river or because of this or because of the bluff, whatever. Yeah, did we miss a lot of them? Yeah, sure, fine. But you know what? I don't know that I would put that as my rule of we're not going to get hit with a tornado. So, anytime, just seriously, be safe, be smart.
Look at all the changes to the weather and climate lately. Like,
Yeah.
everything's evolving and changing, so you just never know.
It's a lot more severe. Like, it's a lot more up and down. So outdoor sirens. Here's the other thing that I didn't really completely know, and Chris, I don't know if you can pull this up. They're not necessarily meant to be heard indoors. Now, a lot of people can hear them inside, but really, that's for everybody that's outside to get inside, right? So, right.
Radio.
Yep.
We do have several sirens in the city limits of Muscatine, so chances are you can probably hear it indoors, but they're not meant to be heard indoors.
Well, and that's like even out where we live, out just outside the bypass, we can hear them. It's so funny. It's so cute. I love them. My in-laws and my grandmother-in-law. Anytime there's a siren that goes off, because one's like literally like right by Vaughn's house, I think.
Yes.
Anytime one goes off, you can guarantee we're gonna get 2 phone calls within about 3 minutes, saying, "Did you hear it? Did you?" Yes, we heard it. We got it. You guys get safe. We're good. And don't be afraid. I mean, that being said, if you have family members, friends that are hard of hearing that may not hear those sorts of things, take the initiative and take 2 seconds and send them a text, send them something so that they know.
Yes. And so now, while we're talking about that, we're going to start testing storm sirens here coming up again for the season. We let them sit for the winter in the freezing months so it doesn't, the parts inside that are frozen. If you discover one that's not working, call my office. We'll get it looked at. Obviously, they've sat now for a couple months in cold weather, so there may be a couple that aren't working. If you discover one, call my office. We'll get it taken care of. So testing. We test on the first Monday of the month at 11 a.m., so we will be starting that in April. However, on March 29th is the statewide tornado drill at 10 a.m., so we will be participating in that and setting off the sirens, and that's just a good time for schools, factories, businesses to practice their severe weather plans.
It would probably also be a good time for us to test you letting us know, and we can push it all out right at the same time, and that way
we can do that.
We've got like a nice little live test.
We can do that. So we'll participate in that drill on the 29th, and then starting in April, we'll start our monthly tests now.
Gotcha.
Through the summer and fall.
Okay, so that's all our homework, folks. Siren, go inside, find the information. I'm going to say it one more time. Siren, go inside, find the information. Be aware that the national or state tornado drill is coming up. But now we're going to get to the fun stuff. And I say fun because I love technology. This really, I don't know that I would qualify as a fun thing. It's a really serious thing that I think we're going to get to have a little fun with this morning. But, as technology's changed, 911 has changed, right? When we were kids, if you accidentally called 911 from your landline, or you accidentally hit #1 instead of #2 to call you're trying to call your grandma and you accidentally called 911, nobody in this conversation ever did that. They'd give a quick call back, make sure you're okay. Nobody has landlines anymore. Well,
do.
I shouldn't say
I
nobody.
do.
I shouldn't say nobody.
I
Many
have
folks,
one.
Many folks do not have a landline, but the technology that the cell phone services allow is tremendous. You know, there's the location tracking, there's all this other stuff, and now you actually have the ability to video chat with your dispatcher, right? And we're going to do a demo of this. Now, we're going to bring in about 3 different sources and try this. What we're going to do is again, I'm going to mention this is not live. We are not really using the 911 system. We're not going to be
Correct. So it's going to look a little different than what it does in the dispatch center.
You'll get the idea.
Yes.
And we're not going to be like disrupting anybody from a real thing or whatever. So, Chris, first of all, tell us before we get to play, what all is this? Like, what's the idea? What's the goal? What can you do with it?
So, I actually found out about this. I have a buddy of mine who's a dispatch director in Illinois, and they started using it several months ago. And him and I were having a conversation, and he was telling me about it, and I thought, boy, that's something we should check into. But it's I like to say, think of it as FaceTime with dispatch.
Yep.
So you're FaceTiming with the 911 dispatcher, so they can see real time what's going on. So obviously, we all know if you call 911, your adrenaline's pumping, you're excited. Some information may not be accurate that's given, which is perfectly fine. That's normal. So this just gives a clear picture to dispatch of exactly what's going on out on the scene, so they can see exactly what's going on. So if somebody's calling and saying, oh, there's a large fight, okay, what does a large fight mean? Does that mean 5 people or does that mean 30 people? Because the response from the police department is going to be a little different for each one of those. So this just gives a clearer picture of what's going on the scene. It also can help with safety. So if a child, maybe their parents are fighting and they call 911 and they're afraid to talk or they can't talk because their parents can hear them, we can send this link to their phone and then they can click on it and give a live picture of what's going on. We've actually used it a couple of times for fires. We've had people calling saying, I think such and such is on fire. Okay, show me what you see. And so then they go live and we can see an actual picture. One happened to be a bonfire. And so we're actually then able to see exactly what they're seeing as opposed to guessing.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know if everybody knows this, but we had a special needs daughter who we had to use emergency management systems probably more than most. And, I can personally speak for the adrenaline, the trying to relay accurately, even though you're not in a position to be able to accurately assess squat. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying, it's not like, but, and I know, like, the times I've called, the dispatcher, all of them have always done a tremendous job of helping, manage the situation, keep us calm, and this would just be one more tool in that belt, so like,
Correct.
If you don't have to assess this thing going on, if you can just point, you can be even looking at other stuff while that's going on, and I absolutely love this concept. And I think, now, can they see the actual dispatcher?
No.
No, okay.
No. So a little different than FaceTime that way.
Little different, one-way FaceTime. But again, they're going to be able to judge quickly what's going on and provide whatever services they need. So I think we're ready to do the little demo here. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend, I think, Chris, this is how we're pretending this. It's like I've called 911 and you're going to send me the link.
Yeah, so I'm going to create the link. So if you call 911, it's a little different because all this stuff would be pre-populated. But
right.
So I'm creating this as if you called 911.
Chris, are you able to get that up on? Okay, great.
So it's a little different, but let me get this. And so now this has sent a text notification here to Chris.
Yep. And then I don't have a monitor. Chris, can you throw me up real quick? So I just got a text message. We don't need to worry about Coldplay on Spotify, but it's just 563-316-6595. But immediately the message is 911, go live with Muscatine County. And I've got a Samsung Android, so I can just click open link here and it pops me straight in. And immediately I see tap to live stream and record video. So I'm going to tap that, and it pops up.
And
right now it's on, we were playing around a few minutes ago. It's on my camera pointing that way, but I can also flip it around so you can see me.
And so just on my screen here, if you notice, I immediately now have Chris's location, where he's calling me from, and I can see exactly what's going on. I'm gonna full screen this here. So now this is pretty much what the dispatcher would see. Obviously their screen looks a little different.
Right.
So this is exactly what the dispatcher would be able to see, exactly what's going on in front of the caller. I, as a dispatcher, can flip your screen.
So like in this case, like for example.
So if I want to see you.
Yep, if you want to see me. Or I could be like, oh my goodness, we have avocados out here at Hy-Vee for $1.50 each. Check this out. And he can now see the real situation in the Hy-Vee produce department live to know whether he needs to dispatch some cops on their break to come get some avocados.
Can never have too many avocados.
You never have too many avocados, especially at $1.50 each.
And so then on, as a dispatcher, if something's going on, I can take snapshots of what's going on in your screen. We can also hide your screen so I can black it out.
Yep.
So if somebody's close to you that you don't want to know that you're on the phone, we can black it out and it just looks like a blacked out screen. They would have no idea that you're live with 911.
Which, in our situation, that was never really applicable. But I can think of 100 different scenarios off the top of my head where it might not be great for the person calling 911 to be known they're on with 911.
Yep.
And what's great is I can do that here. I can unhide it and I can hide it, but he can also do it from there. So if he recognizes a situation that's, hey, I may not realize I can turn that off, he can just go ahead and do it. And what's cool then is he can also send me just like a chat message.
Yep.
So send me one of those.
I think I got to get out of full screen here. Hold on.
So again, this is that silent need, or that, if I need to be able to communicate with them, hi Chris, what's going on? And I can just say back like, yo.
So you see how instantaneous that was.
Yeah,
like it's quick and it's.
Avocados are only $1.50 at Hy-Vee. Get someone here now. Now, and here's the lovely thing about.
And there's exactly what you sent me right here on my screen.
Instantly. Now, and again, this is the nice thing about this is our dispatchers are amazing, and they can obviously judge this. If I were to send this, they're obviously not going to send somebody out to get avocados for $1.50, but they can now go back and forth easily. They can help judge the situation, figure out what needs to be done, and get the help that's needed, regardless of what it is.
If you're on 911, though, we're going to have that audio link, so you'll still be able to talk and we can still hear what's going on.
Right.
The chat feature is more, maybe you can't talk, maybe someone's in your house, maybe you can then chat with us as well, but we would still have an open audio link.
Yes.
We don't hear today because obviously you didn't call 911, but
right.
We would still have that audio feature as well.
Yeah. So essentially on your cell phone, what's happening there is your phone call is still going on in the background,
right? Yep.
Right? And then this app is kind of laying over it.
Correct.
At the same time, so your phone's doing two things at once.
But
so
again, there's 100 situations where maybe somebody can't talk or.
Yep. And like, oops. And so like there, I was just gonna like send a picture, right? So say I want to send a picture of Mr. Olson, who just did tremendously at the Big Ten track meet last weekend. But say I had a picture of something I needed to send them, I can just magically do that, hit done, and it's going to send it over. And now that picture that I have
and you'll see it's right
popping up for him already. So, if you had taken a picture of something that happened over there, and it's still on your phone while you're calling 911 from
a hit and run accident. Maybe you took a picture of their license plate of the run vehicle. Yep. You can then upload that to us, and we have all that information. So
yeah. So basically, what it's really doing is it's pulling the entire power of everything in your phone into your 911 call. Is really what it's doing.
But we can't see any. A misconception is that we can get into people's data or documents. We cannot see anything unless you upload it to us, and we can't take
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we can take over your camera once you go live and flip it around,
Right.
but we would have no access to any information on your phone
Nope.
other than what you decide to send to us,
Yes.
and obviously you have to agree to
Yep.
letting us see video.
And
so
one thing you didn't see because we set this up beforehand was when I clicked on the link the first time during the test, it said, do you want to allow, I don't know if it said 911 or live app or prepared app to access your phone or access your camera? Yes. So that was something we did prior, but that way from a privacy point of view that they're only accessing the things they need, but the things they need they can get. Anything else cool we should show them on this? Like I love this. This is just like.
No, I think we.
And I can hide the chat, and I can go back to my main screen here. Maybe.
And I'm actually going to close this so you can see what comes across then, and once I close it.
So, and then it just showed chat closed in my chat box, but also I got a text message that says chat closed. If you have photos or video of the emergency, you can send them via this text. Please call 911 to speak to us directly. So again, if something happened afterwards and I still wanted them to get a picture of something or whatever, I could still go ahead and just like any other text message, just hit, picture and send it over. So now I assume, can you forward some of this information to the officers and?
That we cannot do quite yet. Okay. So that we hope to bring online soon, where we can send this information right to their computer in their squad car. But I will tell you that anything you upload as well as the video, just like a 911 call you make, can be used in court. Right. So obviously keep that in mind as well. It's any 911 call is property of the 911 center and it can be used in court. So the video, anything you upload is also the same. So,
which, let's be real. If it's a 911, let's not worry about what they're going to be used in court. Let's get everybody safe, and then let all the other chips fall where they may. But this is awesome. So how long did it take you guys to get this put in place? 'Cause you said you were just talking about it.
Well, it took probably 4 weeks for us to get everything downloaded and uploaded, and then we had to do obviously some training with the dispatchers. So I think in total it was 4 weeks, and then we left it in training mode for week and a half so people could get comfortable using it, and then we went live. So yeah, it's an amazing tool. And
and that's, if you really think about it, folks, going from no video chat to live 911 quality video chat in 4 weeks is pretty legit. Obviously this company knows what they're doing. You're not the first ones they've done it with.
We were when we went live, we were the third in Iowa to get the software. I've heard of a couple more counties signing on since, so it's slowly getting there.
And
but
I would imagine at some point in the future, stuff like this will be pretty standard in the industry. But it's nice to see that we're on the front side of it, because obviously it doesn't look like it was a heavy lift to get it installed. You know what I mean? Just
correct.
You had to know what you were doing and check all the boxes and stuff like that. But it's not like we had to rewire the whole town to get ready for it.
It was more administrative stuff, policies and procedures on what we were going to use it for, how we were going to use it. So that kind of administrative stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So who should we give a shout out to in dispatch right now? Who's working?
You know who's working.
Oh, really?
Rachel, Stephanie, and Ben.
All three of them?
Yep.
Okay. Well, all three of you, thank you for what you do. I know you guys, you're always there, and you're always there when people need you. I personally have called, I think, each one of you in a time when we needed you, and it's something that, most people don't use it ever, and that's awesome, right? But that one moment you need it, when one of those three are there, and you used to be there too.
Hey, I just dispatched last week, so you never know.
He did cover the time that one of our trucks lost a tailgate and called us on that. That was him. But I do want to thank you guys for what you do. It's serious, and you guys do a tremendous job at it.
Now, not just Steph. Well, Rachel, Stephanie, and Ben are amazing, but I do have an amazing team. All of my employees are amazing. They're all great.
Yes.
I'm blessed to have them all.
Yeah. And I should take a half step back. Rachel is my wife's cousin, and Stephanie, like, they're all family friends, so there's a little bit of bias there that may have came out what I said, not to discount everybody else. So
It's all good. I just wanted to, they're all amazing. They're all fantastic. I'm blessed to have a great group of people that I don't need to micromanage, and they all know what to do, and they're fantastic. So it makes my job a lot easier.
I would think, because you can make it look easy, that's for sure. So, yeah.
I knew something else was coming.
Yeah, I know. We haven't had enough fun yet. We're going to make Chris play What's in a Box, okay? And for those of you that watch
every
regularly-
time I'm here.
Yes, every time. And so this is the nice thing is he knows what to do. I think, Chris, are we still okay on cameras? Awesome. Okay, so there's something cool in the box. Chris gets to stick hands in both sides, plop it open, feel around, and without seeing it, try and guess what it is. And while he does that,
I don't know why.
While he does that, I'm gonna just sip on my mango dragon fruit lemonade from Starbucks, which is ridiculously delicious. Oh, pop it open. Got to make sure everybody sees what you're doing. Feel around. Ooh, he doesn't know yet. That's kind of surprising. I thought he would have known right away.
It's sticky, is it?
It is sticky. It is sticky.
A pancake?
Well, it was a pancake until you started messing with it. I don't know what it is now. Is it a mashed up pancake now?
No, I just touched the side.
Yo, yes, it is a pancake.
And now I'm all sticky.
Yes, and we'll get you something to clean it up. But,
hey, that is better than the last one that I had.
well, what did you have last time?
Sour cream.
Oh, that's right.
It was like National Sour Cream Day or something.
And it's National Pancake Day today.
Oh, there you
So-
go. See,
We
I'm going to start checking these days before he asks me to be on here.
Hints. I don't know. I never understood why we did this, but we used to like say what the national days were, and then we'd go do what's in the box, and it always had something to do with the national day. And I'm like, man, if they just pay attention, they know what it was.
I'm going to
But
start
it's cool.
looking before
Yeah.
before you ask me to come up here now. I'm going to see
And now what we'll
see
do
what
is
the
we'll just
national
start
day
using
is.
like one from next week. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it. We'll keep it on your
Okay.
toes. But thanks for coming in.
Thanks
Have
for
a
having me. I
blast,
appreciate it.
always. But so quick recap from the homework. Watch for the Chris signal in event of a hazardous material situation. If the sirens go off, it could be any sort of outdoor severe weather. Wind, tornado, hail, whatever. Get your rear inside, find a phone, computer, TV, find out which thing it's telling you about and when it ends, because there is no all clear anymore. If they're not designed to be heard indoors, so if you have someone who's hard of hearing or may not be able to hear it, shoot them a quick text, make sure they're, do your Good Samaritan thing, help a neighbor, make sure that they know about it. And then seriously the most important thing is the video 911 system. You don't probably need to act on it today, right? But just have it in the back of your mind so that if you ever have to call and they say, hey, you guys initiate it? You guys
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So they can say, hey, I'll send you a link and we can see what's going on. So you'll at least have to say, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, boom. And again, for most everybody that does any sort of video call or any sort of anything, it's ridiculously easy. It just pops up, touch it, and away you go. So everybody, that was a lot for the Tuesday morning, last day of February.
And as always, if people have questions, comments, concerns about sirens or anything, my contact information is on the county website,
Yep.
on the emergency management page. Feel free to give my office a call, give them an email. I can help with
the non-911 call.
Yeah,
The
that one.
non-911 number.
I can help with your plans, severe weather plans for your house, your kids, any of that stuff. Give me a call. That's what I'm here for.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you again as always. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you